What's up, Profit Snipers? It's your boy Jaren here. Today we are going to be running over today's price action, going over my analysis for today of everything that I put in the Discord, and just running through some of the structures. And also, I'm going to give you guys a key towards the end of the video on how to identify a lack of buying continuation like we did over here. Alright, so let's get right into it, man. And please like, subscribe if you are new, and I'm really here to help you guys, so let's lock in. The first thing I put in the chat was right here. We identified a cup and a handle pattern. Cup and a handle like that, right? And we end up breaking out in that handle pattern, activating our green buying channel right here for the push out, right? Now, I did not take this trade, but this trade allowed us to see what was going on so far in the market. So we knew that the bulls activated this cup and handle right here, and we end up pushing out in our green and our orange buying channel. So from there on in the Discord, I said that this was our range that we were stuck between our two levels right here, our bottom of the green support algorithm and the top of our yellow algorithm up here at this range, right? And I was telling them that the bears have to grab liquidity off of 748.79 for us to push down, right? So if I go over here to the Discord, here, right? So this was the bears grabbing the liquidity off of 748.79 right there off of that right shoulder. So for y'all to get that in y'all mind, it would have looked something like this for the bears to continue this downtrend, right? And it was at this time that I took my trade right here because I noticed the bears did not have any structure, and I was telling them in the Discord that everything below the 749.50 level they did not want to pay that in the market. So look at everything above that as a new range, right? So from there on, we were just in our buying channels. This is where I ended up taking my trade right here, right off of the 749.50 level, and I set my stops right below it, like I told them in the Discord, right? Again, I said 748.79 to short, so I was making sure that nobody was shorting, right? And this is when I was telling them, right, everything below that 749.50 level is void, right? They basically do not want to pay that. So look at that as a new range. And now that we are in a new range, right, the bears do not have any sufficient resistance level. So they're going to be trying to force a resistance level or find a resistance level as the bears are just pushing up, as we see like we did today, right? So I took this trade right here, and it was just a perfect stop, perfect risk to reward, and the bulls need to mount off of 749.50, right? See how the bulls have space to the upside, right? So I was targeting the upside of the yellow algorithm as a next resistance point for the bears, because that was the key level that they wanted to short from, but everything in between was just them playing around, right? But they really wanted to get to 752.22 up here, which I believe we are currently there right now. Yeah, 752.22, that was the high, right? But I ended up getting out of my calls earlier, right? And this was a beautiful trade that the market ended up providing us right here, because it stopped a lot of bulls out right here, entered a lot of bears, and then it killed off all the bears that entered, and then it pushed up in our orange buying channel, as we can see right here. We got spurts of green in our initial move up right there, right here, and right here. So these are our buying channels, right? And as we can see right here, right, we started to taper with our yellow algorithm right there. And you can see it's just so penny perfect, y'all. It's so penny perfect. You see that? How we are now beginning to taper with our yellow algorithm right here. So we know that the bulls can no longer activate that green buying channel that they need. And then right here, they were trying to activate their orange buying channel right there, right? The green is the strongest. That's what we want to go up in. Bulls didn't have that. So now they're relying on the orange algorithm to push them up, right? So at the breakout of the orange algorithm, the bulls will be stopped out. And we can see that we had a lot of control of our yellow algorithm right here. And we're still even seeing that right now, right? Which I end up taking a short position at this level. I put it in the Discord, right? After this trade, we did good on those calls, right? But the second trade right here, I was looking for us to push up a little higher, right? Again, I was targeting that 752.22, but everything in between allowed me to take these puts right here off of that yellow algorithm, which we identified right here, right? So that's when I identified that structure, and then I end up getting filled off of this right here, off of that yellow algorithm break right here, because we seen that this was just a beautiful head and shoulders pattern right here, and the bears activated that green buying channel to the downside, right? So from there on, I was like, okay, beautiful puts, and I was actually done for the day, but then I ended up taking some more calls. This was a beautiful thing that the market presented that I wanted to talk about today, right? And sometimes the market can create free room and free space and free liquidity to the upside, right? And what I mean about that, I actually mentioned it right here, right? And then this is what I was talking about, 158. The bulls are stopped here. 158 is right here. So this was a beautiful trade that the market presented right here too, because you guys have to understand the psychology of this trade. So we know, so this is our head and shoulders pattern that we were just talking about right here, which we just took our trade off of, right? So if you did not get the opportunity to exit in this green selling channel right here, that is on you, right? So this green selling channel is our strongest selling channel. That's our selling channel, right? So all the bears should have been out of position right here. Even they got another opportunity right here, right, to get out. Let me make it bigger. Boom. Even on this green selling, they had to get out because you see the breakout. It stopped out a lot of bulls, and the momentum was beginning to shift below 750. That's why I told them in the Discord, under 750, the bears are in control at this current range. So the bulls got to hold above 750 because it is a psychological level, right? And when you look up a psychological level, it's just something that's a round number, like 750, 250, or 100, 200. It's just a 00 or like a 50 number, right? It's just a psychological level. So at this level, a lot of bulls got stopped out, because you got to think, imagine if you're a bull, right, and you entered up here, and you see the market about to tank below. You already losing. Bulls are entering right here, They're all gonna stop. These bulls are fine. Stops were never threatened right here. But right here, a lot of bears were entering and bulls were getting stopped. That's why momentum was getting shipped. And if you see this one candle right here, it had to push up. This one candle right here pushed up, and it gave us a little gap right here. If you can see, it's a tiny little gap right here that it gave us, right? So, don't be surprised if that gets filled, because it's a little tiny gap that the market can come back to. But from there on, look, we got our green buying channel. Boom, right? So this was us pushing up in our green buying. That was our strongest buying channel, is the green. That's what we want to see us pushing up in, right? As you can see, we pushed up in green right here too, and we pushed up in green right here. But overall, we were being controlled by the orange algorithm right here. You can see as we came down, we touched the orange right here. We touched the orange right here. We touched the orange right here, giving us a spurt of the green algorithm and a spurt of a green algorithm, while we were mainly confined by us buying up in the orange buying channel, right? And one thing you'll see is that the market shows us a lack of buying continuation, right? So when we begin like over here, right, we had a lack of buying continuation because we couldn't push up in our strong green buying channel over here, and then we started pushing with our orange, but we broke out, and then we tapered with our yellow right here, giving us more downside in our green selling channel. So that's something that we're looking at still. So a key important thing is identifying a lack of buying continuation. So as we can see today right here, we did have a lack of buying continuation, right? So we know that we want to be pushing up in our strongest buying channel in our green, right? In our green buying channel. When we didn't get the activation of our green buying channel, the orange buying channel stepped in, right? But the orange buying channel got broke again. Then we began tapering with the downside, with the yellow tapering channel right here, giving us this downside liquidity right here. And as we can see, towards the end of the day, we still have some, liquidity in this yellow algorithm that could be grabbed to the downside. But we will see throughout the week. But yeah, I hope this video really helped you, man. I hope it was informational towards you. Then I hope peace.